seer. And we're moving into times that are biblical. That there'll be times that are shifting the very course of humanity. You know, these are times that are literally shifting the course of humanity. You know, it's been a long time since human beings got to be in this kind of world. And we're really it. And as a seer and as a prophet, as a seer and as a prophet, part of the importance of my journey with myself is to be faithful. And to be faithful to you. Even if you don't know I am being. Starting the beginning of this year, I had a series of prophecies, a series of mystical events that in all the 66 years of my life, those mystical events do start to turn out as things that actually occur, or they happen as things that human beings actually need to make decisions about and to move with so those things don't occur. So this past weekend, Elaine and Marilyn and Linda and I, we got to go to an event where there were indigenous elders from all over the world. And the event was an event. Something actually happened, a cornerstone, a marker, where nothing was ever going to be the same again. And what we could say in very short terms of what happened is that we could hear each other. And even more than that, we knew that, we actually knew that now the power. It loves me. It loves me. That's what it is. That's what power is. It loves you. And bottom line, that's not what you're used to. We're not used to being loved. Because when that earth responds to you, or the heavens respond to you, or suddenly somebody operates in a way that you noticed the night before you'd been just telling them off in your sleep, and the next day they call and apologize, and you go, oh, wow, what was that? That's creation that loves you. It's how it works. It's how it works. And it really does work that way. I'm not going to talk about my prophecies. They're a little startling. So I'll leave it for my best friends. They get the questionable opportunity to deal with me that way. But there's no way, if you look in your most logical mind, you can tell if we keep going the way we're going, things are going to end up exactly the way they're going. So we might as well become forces to be dealt with, don't you think? Seems like a great idea to me. And I'm not going to operate any other way. This whole, as many of you know, I've been in an interesting biological event since about July 8th. I really didn't know how I was going to turn out, but I was pretty sure I had the power of all creation roaring through my body as I was stumbling and walking into walls and not able to stabilize myself. And I had no idea when I got stable, this is what I would be. This is where I'd be standing. And what it basically was all the layers peeled away. All the, oh, I can't say that. All the, oh, they can't hear me. Oh, that sounds silly. Oh my goodness, I'll never do that. It all just peeled away. It just went away. And all I'm left with is, okay, let's go. Time. It's time. We have yesterday to be done. So we'll get it done in 2 weekends. And we will, by the way. We will do that. So the last thing I want to share with you is I'm going to share my own version of it, but I want you all to really look at it. So for those of you who haven't done this work, the first weekend is really about human beings' direct connection to God, creation, source, whatever it is. And we use a language base that's based on the Fibonacci sequencing that opens up the mind. So you actually have that relationship rather than like having yourself separated from it. You actually start having that relationship. And in this weekend, we move from that direct alignment, that vertical alignment, to our relationship with each other. And that's the second thing. The most fascinating thing in the weekend was that one of the most fundamental things in the indigenous tribes is like Avatar. I see you. I see you. It's the other thing we have walked away from. We don't see each other. Probably at all. We may think we do. But one of the things Rose said, the Maori elder, is what in their tradition, in their Maori tradition, they're fascinated with each other. Fascinated. Fascinated. Can't get enough of their stories, their oddities, their weirdnesses, their magnificence, their conundrums. They're fascinated with each other. And until we're fascinated with each other, we're not okay. We're just not okay. And that's a large part of our non-indigenous upbringing and our psychological upbringing. You know, we're not allowed to have faults. We have to fix our faults. We can't sin, for heaven's sakes, or we won't get to heaven. So we all look, like my mammy said, white. No color, no shadows, not much fun. So we're not going to do that. So that's the trickier part of the weekend. The trickier part of the weekend is we're going to work through the body. I'm going to work through the body. Because your DNA coding remembers your empathic bond with each other. Frankly, we don't. Not that we don't love each other and adore each other, and not that some of us wouldn't be faithful till the day we die to another human being, but there's another place. It's like an Avatar, the movie, you know, where that tail went into that tree of life, and we all felt each other's tail there. We literally felt our collective bond. That's what's missing. So the activation work we're going to do this weekend is we're going to activate that tail. We're going to activate that bond. Because it's been gone a long time. There's no way anybody, I know people have those experiences. Every one of you have been to a conference where you felt deeply and powerfully related to everyone, and you loved it, and you came home and forgot them in 2 seconds. Or you kept a rather good relationship, but that empathic bond is something totally different, and that's really what happened to me about 4 weeks ago. I woke up and felt my bond to Harmony Ridge Lodge and to the people here and to the land. It was like nothing I'd ever felt in my whole life. It wasn't based on anything I could have ever explained. It was indigenous, Aboriginal. Didn't make sense in any way, except I got in the door. And so I found the coding. I can identify that coding in you. So what we'll be doing this weekend is restoring that bond. Then there's the part I can't get over is some kind of conversation we don't even realize we're having with ourselves stops. It just stops. Yeah. It's amazing, really. So that's the three things that on both a general public conversation level and in what we're going to be doing this weekend level. And one is that in the general public, we have to do everything we can to restore our original connection to ourselves and our earth and our cosmos. Because if we don't get that connection restored, we can't be here. We've become the problem, not the solution. So that really has to happen. You know, that we're part of a life force energy on this planet. and that we can call on it, and it will serve us, and we can align with it. We can take care of things with it. And then we have to remember each other. We just have to remember each other. Because if we remember each other, we won't do things that harm each other. That's what empathy is. I hurt you, I'll feel it in myself. So we're a little group this weekend. You know, but Jesus only had 12. It doesn't take many. It just takes remembering. It really, really does. We're going to move into shifts and changes in 2013 that are surprising. They may be great, but as long as we're putting the authority outside of ourselves, as long as we're waiting for the right president, or we're waiting for the right global affairs, we've missed the boat. Because where you're standing is where creation occurs. It's the only place it occurs. Everything else is just news. And we live in the most remarkable place in this area, just remarkable. Whatever the indigenous people did in this area, it was really cool. Because I can find hardly any hara at all up here on this ridge. And I walked into Santa Fe and went down to my knees, didn't even know what had gone on there, and could barely survive being in the town because I could feel what happened. But there was some powerful stuff happening up here, I'm telling you. One of the things that happened out of the conference is I want to go hang out with the local Indians, find out the tales, see what happened around here. Because something happened around here, something cool. And we can tap into it. And something drew us here, those of us that live here. Something drew us here. Something beyond, it's really pretty. And it has seasons. Something else drew us. So the last thing I want to say tonight is that I want you to take what I said in. We're in so many conversations. We do read so many books. We look at so much TV. We read so much. But there's something unique about me and people like me. We pay attention a very specific way. We pay attention to the shifting tides. We see something coming before you even know it's there. And in my world, I happen to care about human beings. A lot of people like me don't. They're just prophets. But somewhere back in time, I fell in love with us. I'm not discouraged. A lot of us have been waiting on this time for a long time. It's just not a good time to be complacent about it. None of this. Not yet. Maybe in the next couple of years. Not yet, though. So my request is that you take in what I said and that you really take it in. And to some level, I would like you to let it bother you. Not upset you, just bother you a bit. And in one of my most transformational times ever is when I have had a memory of something that I must have been once that I'm not now. And that's part of what we need to get at, that we once carried alchemy. We once carried magic. We once could, where every one of us is a Moses. Every one of us. once could put that rod out and part that sea. We really need to let that bother us. Because that's really the level of impact we need to make now. And believe me, you do not need to gather in a group to do that. You can do it in your backyard. You know, when you plug in to your direct relationship with creation, you are a force to be reckoned with. And that's the bottom line. You got so much power. You can just stand in your bedroom. Just tell it like it is. Something's listening. Something's really listening, whether it's your guides or your guardians or the earth herself. I don't know. I don't know your MO. Each one of you has your own. But I tell you what you're not. You're not abandoned. You haven't been rejected. And you certainly haven't been betrayed. So now we need to get over it. We need to believe the impossible. Embrace the extraordinary. Get cocky. Feisty. Say we can even if we think we can't. Particularly say no more. And then say now, now, now. So in this weekend, in the first language of creation, you get at what I am a direct relationship with creation. And this weekend, it's I am that, and where I am, it is. And where I am, it is. So this weekend, if you get tired, it's not tired. You got too much energy coming into your body. We have lots of chairs back there. We put, what do you call it? There's a camping cot back there. There's a gray layout out on the ground bed out there. So when you could get very tired this weekend, believe me. It won't be because you're tired. It'll be because too much energy's running and your body doesn't know how to stake it in the ground yet. But I will promise you, by the time you leave on Saturday night, your stake will be in the ground. Why? Because I got orders. And I have to follow my orders. Because who's working in the room tomorrow won't be me. It'll be where I am. It is. That which asked me to do what we'll be doing this weekend. I think that's all I have to say. Any questions or comments? Is that a no?
I just want to say thank you. Yes. Thank us.
Thank us.
Yeah.
I think so. I think us.
We showed up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really what was, that was really what was present in the weekend. You know, we had lots of indigenous people and then about 200 non-indigenous people. But it was so clear we'd all showed up. It was just so clear that we'd showed up. There was hardly any guilt or, you know, the kind of morass you get into when you have history like so many indigenous people have. It was none of that. It was an occasional, but it was mostly, okay, we're here. Let's go. They did something called, there's a tradition in the Lakota called the wiping of the tears. And I feel like we've really been in that for a long time now. And the wiping of I think for me it started around Vietnam. But I think all of us have some version of the wiping of the tears. And in the Lakota ceremony, the people who have lost a child or whatever tragedy has occurred, they come to the tribe and they tell them the story. They share their heartache. And then the tribe says, we love you, we're so sorry, we'll be there for you as you recover from this loss. Now what? Now, let's go on. We don't ignore what happened, but we don't stop there. We move on. And that's really the spirit of That's the spirit. That's so important now. We're not ready. Our bodies aren't ready. Our minds have not quickened all the way into the new way of existing. Our emotional plane is still memory-based. It still has lots of trauma sometimes in it. And it's not about ignoring that, but it's about include that, take care of it, and go forward. Because we could all get well within a week and have no world to be in. It's just that simple. It's really both and. Anybody else? Anything else before we stop? Because I want to talk a little bit about tomorrow. So I want to share the people that are here. Would you mind standing up? This is Janice. And Janice and Renette are courageous. They're undefeatable, indefatigable too, probably. And we got to meet with them about the homeless in Nevada City and Grass Valley, and they're geniuses, and they have the right coherence and cohesion and congruence. So it's really just exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. So thank you for coming.
I'd like everyone to know that Janice is the founder of Hospitality House.
Oh, great. Oh, great.
Wow. One of the founders. Wow.
That's great. Great.
And I'm raising my 3 grandchildren. That's one of my prides. I love the children. And thank you so much for what you said, because I affirm it, I know it, I'm right there
I know.
with you.
That's why I invited her tonight.
I do a process called conscious dreaming,
Yeah.
which is moving into the dream state while you're wide awake and learning how to interact with the dream characters and dream symbols. And when I was with the indigenous peoples, I would just say something and they right away knew what I was talking about. And I was given that as a gift.
Yeah.
And so that's how I do everything. And that's how Hospitality House came about, from a dream. And right now what we're doing is coming about. We're working with the other homeless that can't be housed with Hospitality House. Hospitality House is a wonderful place for the homeless, but they have...
I hate that part.
You can do it.
I'm so glad that I paid to edit. Oh, God. All right. Keeping us all up. All right. So my name is Tantra Mott. I'm a seer. I'm a prophetess. I'm a magi. I'm a facilitator of consciousness. And I wanted to do this film with you all because I think there's something that human beings are that they really forgot. And they forgot it big time. They didn't forget it just a little. They forgot it big time. And I just want us to remember we have power. Not power over, but power in unison with this earth, in unison with this cosmos, and in unison with ourselves. So thanks for being here tonight. Cut!